Truth Media.
Dia. Very no bad. Nasa anybody Saluman. Yeah, they live or they poo them for do any business for do some. Yeah, they live in the office. They no bad. Any business for do some. They backside course for make any students them. Anyway, for make or the confusion or the education, anybody for learner, anybody for prepare, any song if for the anybody.
Mina Yusuf Jalo, the Cow Footprints, and you they listen to Truth Radio on 103.9 FM, live from Freetown. Na to the last.
Hida jentadi Truth Radio. Radio gonga kan katemedere etati tokbere jenai FM ko gonga kan lutata.
You listen to Truth Radio 103.9 FM, live from Freetown. Na to the last.
I hope that our visitors would listen to the song carefully, because it's true. They're trying their best to stop our progress with bad propaganda. I mean the foreign press. Bad things are blown out of proportion and spread all around. But the good things of the island they will never mention. Like our scholars have sit and passed every test. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. You know our music is rated amongst the best. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. But if a man steal a mango or breeze blow up a woman dress, bet your life we making headline in the foreign press. True, true. Lamba bombe ba, lamba doba, lamba de la de da.
Good morning, Freetown. Good morning, Sierra Leone. It's a hearty welcome to another edition of Stop Press right here on Truth Radio 103.9 FM. My name is Christian Conte, and the program is Stop Press, the program that brings you a deep dive analysis of major issues, major headlines that happen across the country on radio, television, and across newspapers. So today we really want to confront a dual crisis we're having as a nation. You know, a crisis that is shaking the very foundations of our nation. One of that is the rise in drug addiction among young people. And secondly is the escalating threats against journalists, people who dare to speak up in the media space. We have the September 2025 Media Freedom Review from the Media Reform Coordinating Group, and it paints a very troubling picture, one of intimidation, one of harassment and violence against the press. These are the issues we're coming to discuss here today, right here on Stop Press. Stay with us for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, as we bring you the program here on Stop Press with me, Christian Conte.
I hope that our visitors would listen to the song carefully, because it's true. They're trying their best to stop our progress with bad propaganda. I mean the foreign press. Bad things are blown out of proportion and spread all around. But the good kings of the island they will never mention, like our scholars have said.
Welcome to the midweek edition of Stop Press right here on Truth FM 103.9 FM with me, Christian Conte. As I stated before we had the very short break, we are discussing two crisis situations in Sierra Leone. One has to do with the issue of drugs, specifically Kush, Tramadol, among other drug in the country. And secondly, the rise in threats against people who dare to speak, media practitioners who dare to speak. And behind these headlines is always a journalist who is quite fearless, who reports these stories, who connects the dots, who exposes things around Kush and drugs, and who writes about the political strategy designed to sedate a generation and silence them. I've been joined in the studios by my colleague, Lawrence Williams. Lawrence, good morning. Welcome to Stop Press.
Yeah, good morning, Christian.
So we dive right into it. This past few days, we've had a very interesting conversation around drug issues, and we've also had issues around freedom of the press, and we have had reports from MRCG. But I want to start with a story you did. You wrote a very interesting story that has to do with Kush, and a very nice picture you created about how Kush is devastating young people, and how the political class seem to use this for getting young people and for letting them galvanize. Unlike in other countries where young people then galvanize and tell authorities that this we want. In our country, Kush and other drugs to make young people then just sit down and they will really galvanize. And I like the words that we use in this article. One of them says it's a system designed to kill revolutionary spirit. Unpack this idea for me. How you put this idea together, and what are the thinking behind the article?
Okay, so first, it's an opinion. Let me state it very clearly so that people don't think that it's some kind of story that should, a news story, so that they don't perceive it as a news story. It's an opinion of mine. And now, what I was thinking, the idea of putting that piece together actually came from the ongoing protest in Madagascar, where young people have taken to the streets demanding that President Rajoelina resigns from office. And that one actually spurred the young people to take to the street because the government in Madagascar has failed outrightly to provide basic services such as water, electricity, and of course corruption is so much embedded in the government's administration. So young people being fed up with the situation now demands that this situation must change, and it should start with the leadership. The leadership must go. So even when the president fired his entire cabinet, the young people still demand and are demanding that the president must resign. So yesterday, he fled the country, but he has refused to resign. Now, so I also now begin to look at how Gen Z has been mobilizing in other countries. So we look at Kenya, for example. We saw young people took to the streets rejecting the finance bill, which was a killer bill. And then despite police high-handedness, they came up against them with tear gas and live rounds. A number of them were killed. They persisted, they insisted. At the end of the day, President Ruto changed course. He had to decline assenting to the bill. We've seen that again in Senegal, where they protest for electoral reforms. Now, in all of these situations, I'm not saying that there is no amount of drug addiction in those countries. The idea is these young people have been able to mobilize themselves to challenge the status quo and demand better for themselves and their generation.
And I make you continue on that steady. You don't explain it nicely for Wayland book. We come out the cocoa way, don't to we. Let's more calm down. Maybe
okay, so let me okay, let's break it now. So what they say is that In all of these countries, Madagascar, in Kenya, in Senegal, we saw part of it in Nigeria at some point.
Speak English, oh.
No, I'm not.
Let me understand.
We see young people and they come on they challenge the system where don't use poverty, unemployment for chain them. And because of their situation indeed, they don't observe, see, even when you look at the reports coming from those countries, you observe, say, young people are not going. Africa has a huge youth population. And there is one report recently from UN where say in the next decade or so, Africa go get about 1 point something billion people we go to reach working age adults.
Yeah, we're not going
US. We don't go to reach age for work, but job not there. So these young people, despite they get drug addiction at some point, at some level or some degree in their countries, but they're able to mobilize because they are not too rampant as we know. So the comparison what try for drug is that other one and then other country, they're young people and they, because they're not so they into drug addiction, their own case not so bad off like we own, they're able to come together, mobilize for protest, demand better thing for their life them. Whereas we own the Naya, because of the addiction where they don't so much they into, it don't render them practically useless. So, and it appears, because when I look at them, because if you look at President Bio in speech last year, April, where we declare national emergency on kush, substance abuse, drug in general, and the commitment already the government make, and what did they happen now? You see, I say, government not serious. Literally, government not serious. There is no, the government not show any strong commitment to what it don't say it go do. We go come to that speech.
Definitely, yeah.
So the comparison one I want for is that it's like a wake-up call to Salon Gen Z. Okay. You get me? Instead of them being into kush, into this, into be idling about, what they call, let them able for come together, mobilize, because the youth make up about roughly 70% of the population. Which tells you that the youth get the power for decide who that stay in a government, who that the common government, and everything. Yeah. So, but we get a situation where the young people, they're just like a demography we consider them as. Yeah. We just use statistics. Oh, we get 70%, about 70% young people. That's statistics. Yeah. They are not recognized as stakeholders. So now that one day I try for bring up. And another thing, by my own opinion, is that the whole idea about kush way, because drugs been there, jamba been there, this been there, yes, drug addiction been there, but not so. And this kush now from then 2018 to 19, now don't because was still will not be control and so.
No, so
it for me own idea, me see and say politicians they really don't use this thing with young people in a position where they're not going able for even reason and challenge this.
That definitely the next issue we can to we more prepare a clip where we use now on we morning devotion very regularly and Sumano Kone from the Social Welfare Ministry, they repeatedly talk, say, resources not there. Even though government they say we don't put things in place, but resources not there. We can play that clip there very shortly. But before that clip they come, just as you they say, in your article I read that extensively, and you see for the point at a view that maybe this whole thing about drug issues in the country seems to be deliberate, because if young people they don't take so much drugs, they're able even hold government to account, and governments lack than the government lack with them comfortable, nobody call them out, nobody hold them to account.
So that is the idea. In other countries, you see people are always sober. Young people are always sober. We're not too much into addiction or what have you. They're able to mobilize and demand accountability, end to corruption, justice from the governments there. But we own them, they're not able to do that. And simply because they're into this addiction. So the idea is that, now comparison. So the idea is that, who do they benefit? It benefits the politicians. Yeah. And of course, every system go gladly when they not get anybody so far when they challenge the excesses of the system. I'm not saying, I'm not paint a picture of youth to rise up violently or what have you. But of course, peaceful protest is one of the fundamental principles of human rights. Right to peaceful
Look,
assembly.
just in Liberia here, if
fine.
a woman then come together.
Before that,
they
we
will-
see
they will
even
protest.
before the election where Pool George Weah power, he gave, clearance for letting them protest against high cost of living. We saw that as well in Ghana.
In Ghana, yes. If a
It
police
happened.
officers, then they give the protesters the water.
Water and everything.
That's how democracy works.
You get me? So we on the situation now, is so unique or peculiar in the sense that young people are not busy again. And this one, where they into so, believe in me, it really they benefit the politicians, it really they benefit the system. And the system, they actually thrive on their suffering and silence.
Yeah.
Now that makes things are really going back.
Definitely, there is so much talk about what the states they do and what the states not they do. But more listen to this clip. Ansumana Kone, we come up from Social Welfare Ministry. Who don't play repeatedly. More just get an idea of the challenges that we face. You say there are rehab centers. Money not even there for on them. More just listen to her and we will come back.
What's in the demand? You talk about thousands of. Is it that the demand very high for the space we're able to provide for rehabilitating them people there?
The available service is very inadequate. We established Hastings. Now, PMTC in Hastings, we're not the first rehab. We also get one, Nagundama, for the southern region, and we're in the process of establishing a rehab center in Daru. But as I speak, currently, the last batch of discharge was in July, because there are no resources currently from government or any partner for the rehabilitation. So as I'm speaking, the centers are empty because there are lack of resources.
You don't get patient and
Currently, as I'm speaking.
Why?
Resources not there. So the chairman of the National Task Force on Drug and Substance Abuse, they don't make a commitment for some funds where is available. So they transfer that to the Ministry of Social Welfare. Follow we admit 40 young people in Daru. But currently Hastings is empty, Gunama is empty because there are no resources.
So, since when for provide this service where resources not there, and how long that's to happen?
I think it will begin from February 2024. We'll establish the first center at Hastings. So the admission, we don't stagger because of resource problem. Because what you know is that in April 2024, with His Excellency, the President declared state of emergency. I mean, for two reasons. One, to mobilize resources for fight the drug, and for enhanced partnership collaboration. But from that 10 to now, we've only rehabilitated 400 young people and provide the necessary psychological support services. And the data, they tell us we're close to 5,000 we'll get. So to me, it's a drop in the ocean. So if this feds really get for FETAM, more resources needs to be allocated.
So what I want to clarify is when una stop for admit them people there at the center where resources not available, now from which month to now?
The rehab process begins from February.
Yes, I understand.
So where the money can be available, we admit them. So that make we admit in batches of 50. One time, when money been there, we will admit up to 120. So we can discharge them after a period of time. So when money available, we do the assessment process and admit again. But if money not there, so gaps beyond there. For example, in 2024, from between February to September, we were able to admit, reintegrate, and rehabilitate and reintegrate close to 300 until September. So from September to February 2025, there was no money. So when money come back, follow up begin admit, we'll begin check with database and the call the addicts and parents them. So they will be done there already on that list there. Because of that gap, we'll be done there. Because if we continually rehabilitate, we save lives. Because the young people are very vulnerable and they're out there perishing. But we have to play a key role.
So that's Ansumana Kone from the Ministry of Social Welfare. it explain how rehab centers they be run. You know, where money can have, they open the rehab center, take care of some people them, where money done, the rehab centers close small, and you know it's this disorganized in a system where claims say would affect drug issues. Now, you know, I always compare we to Liberian counterparts. Every single day we look from the Liberian end, they get an arrest. Either they catch somebody with kush, with tons of tramadol, or other illicit drugs. And sadly, these people, most of them can be Sierra Leoneans. They brandish and they don't catch people that are Sierra Leone. As if Sierra Leone is the worst country for drugs. And we back home, nothing forget the structures for solve this problem. This is something that has been declared an emergency. Government said and committed for solve this problem. But you know the resource system for run simple rehab centers. How do they go possible?
Now, before we actually expand on that, let's look at the 5 part strategy way President Bio lay out for a drug-free nation.
Yeah.
Now, he say prevention. He say include awareness campaign for promote healthy living alternatives and for stop the drug use. That's part first. The second one, care and treatment. He say in every district, he say in government we establish treatment center where accessible, me say people are able for access them, and also adequately staffed by trained professionals for provide the care and support for people with drug addiction. Thirdly, social services support. We say they will provide comprehensive, holistic package for recovery. You get me? For recovery, counseling, skills training of the one the way they go through their centers, the other rehab programs they are able for bringing them come back in the society, let them interact, able for fit in. Then law enforcement. He said then go dismantle, then go nyaka the drug supply chain through what? Investigation, arrest, prosecution. Then, of course, community engagement for partner and blah, blah, blah. So the first question is, government don't establish treatment center in every district? No.
Exactly.
The one very simple one first, the one first way we struggle for establish. Nine that they tell we say resources no dey. And see the way they operate. Now, in the pond, out of the pond. We get money, we can do small.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you get a family, una eat today, it take 10 days una not eat.
We get money back.
Then we get money back, una can eat back again.
You know, so on this points that where you raise, you know, one of the things that we stand out in all of them, and where me always think say it's probably the most effective way for stop drug abuse out of the country. It comes to the area outside, you know, the supply chain, because this drug that we talk about, it's not being produced in here. Whether it's tramadol, whether it's all the other drug, not only they produce there, even the kush, where you get other elements to add a mix. Now important car. Why don't we stop this at the ports and other borders there where they come inside? Now, we are only saying we stop the supply chain and nothing seems to be done. If we really serious to stop the supply chain, we see arrests almost every day, like Liberia is doing. We get a very good example of a neighbor who is doing just that. Every day they say they catch people and they say that's Sierra Leonean. Sometimes not really Sierra Leonean, but because of what they don't know now, they say that's Sierra Leonean. What are we doing to break this supply chain?
Firstly, I must say that if government's really serious and want for tapam, government able. They only need for give the police marching orders for do so. The police get the capacity, they get the wherewithal for actually disrupt the supply chain. Sierra Leone police is more than competent enough, based on my observation. All the trainings they would go, the personnel capacity, training capacity, and everything. So then get time.
Somebody would disagree.
Somebody would disagree.
The very same members of the police force, you know, time after time we don't get not even rumors. There are some of we don't.
Yes, no, that is right. Yes, they are bad. Exactly. What me they say? If the police really wants to do their work, free from political interference, if they get the marching orders, they get the clear mandate for do the work without any prejudice, the police will do the work. I'm telling you. Lamana make mention, for example, how you go, don't wait and call somebody investigator, you don't go discover drugs now in place, for example, 4 months ago. After 4 months, you come out and say, we they can't pull a warrant for the person we're not in hiding.
That is very
You want for
conversation. That conversation always spark all the debates all throughout the week.
So Lamana make compare. I watched the show. Make compare. He said, "But una want go investigate somebody 2 days before. Una don't put press release say we they go raid this person. Then this 4 months ago, una don't see drugs. Una so I don't see drugs. So 4 months after, una can now say where they go. It doesn't really it doesn't add up.
Exactly.
You get me? So you see that government commitment on la paper ID.
Yeah.
And probably sometimes government was thinking that, oh, don't make them policy pronouncements there with the expectation that donor they can pour money. Don't they put money pan.
Not seriousness at all. Definitely. Don't foresee some.
Nobody know they really support you on seriousness.
Yeah.
So government not really serious. That is the bottom line. Because all of these fine commitments, government really care and treatment. But okay, simple care and treatment. The one great rehab center, it is not fully functional. It is dysfunctional.
Yeah.
That is the exact word.
No, more go back to the issue is spark the controversy. One of the things in the fight against drugs, hold on, in a salon, it's very selective. Very selective in the sense that you get certain people the way have been accused of drug related offenses. Police quickly go inspect the house, watch they pull statements and all that. Then like we see when it comes to somebody like an entertainer like Natasha Beckley, it takes a whole lot of time. And what you will be do on Truth Media and this platform is just tell the police, let's have this thing done very fairly. And if your name be called up a drug issue, go explain. Simple. We don't talk over and over. And make me a hashtag. Why you the vex? Post enough of vex for that day. Natasha Beckley then call her. It make all kinds of stunts na Facebook make noise. At the end of the day, go explain. It go humbly. It sit down several hours. Gets interaction with the police. They put her on bail. It should be the same for everybody. But if there is a drug issue, then one person thinks say they get at you. Then it's cause for concern. Then we begin for become very suspicious because Englishman they say the old are often uneasy when dry bones are mentioned. But we have to blame the Sierra Leone police squarely. What thing therefore do for ensure say the fight against this drugs infestation of our country is across the board. More not like say with a cherry pick in this fight.
The police, like I said, if there is no political interference into the work, the police will do the work, they will nip this thing in the board. True. Don't forget, it was a few months ago, where the US pulled another report, where they flagged we up as a drug transshipment hub. And, Christian, yes, this thing don't do, but government's not really serious. Because if you look international reports, for example, not to like be a number of all people weighing as of Sierra Leonean and decent or carrying Sierra Leone passports with dedication with huge quantities of drugs. Other countries they not the whole with nationals them for drug related offenses, and we cannot actually say true one for fet kush or whatever drugs when we get drug bail on them, will they encourage, will they keep them now the country as I don't know how for put them. We don't see reports whether not from BBC, whether not from Reuters, whether not from newspapers in Germany, in the Netherlands, in the Newsline magazine report and also other one the Widow report consistently that Sierra Leone is harboring one of the most dangerous criminals of the international drug cartel.
But we security forces are still not own up to that day. As far as they're concerned, this person in question, I'm not even sure if he didn't. But the only troubling thing is that the person really don't show see there, where they say okay, they get a name where the police say Omar Sharif. There has been no warrant of arrest. At least this person look like the famous Joss. More assumes not to Joss, but it look like Joss. You know, things like somebody like that, they for be called in, can't verify identity, we'll make sure say this is not just where they talk about, and this person is very close to power. We don't see pictures all over the place. This shows, this speaks to the commitment of the state. Now people that get all kinds of suspicion.
Now, you just mentioned something. Very close to power, we don't see pictures. Evidently, we've seen pictures of this same person attending a New Year's church a day service alongside with the first family, seated just 2 pews behind the president. We also seen pictures of this same person alongside the president when the president go do a symbolic harvest in a farm. We also see this person in the video wherein the former chief immigration officer was having a birthday party celebration also, where he presents some gifts, Rolex watch, and what have you. Newsline magazine. This is not coming from Lawrence Williams. Yeah. This now when he report international report, pictorial and video evidences that they show,
and they have been consistent with these reports.
Consistent.
Yeah.
We see the last report by Newsline magazine, where he said this person don't embed himself within the political and security architecture. That even they give them gifts, would I go buy motor car for what have you. These are reports within our international media where the government not able to challenge, not able to deny, not able to debunk, not able to refute.
And Lawrence, the most worrying thing is that the excuse that the security sector they always give that the president's the Gona program, all order did it. And in my opinion, I think the president need for changing security detail. Maybe all man for lost in job that security detail, because no matter how poor his security is, at least 50 meters from the presidency, una for no one already around there. So when I go there so close to the president, then when they release the president in life, and this is something that should be taken very seriously. Maybe not security experts, but it's common sense. Somebody cannot be around the presidency and you know what account for her. No, it shouldn't happen.
Christian, don't make this a laughing matter.
Yeah, it's serious.
It's simple. That man way they don't identify now all them pictures and videos they are with senior government officials. Una go fend that man. Una go count him. Since Dutch authorities they say now we own now the person that they look for. Now the international drug bear on this. And it dinner. And una don't say now all the pictures and the all the videos they all the
former immigration boss can say
una go kill this man. No, una can't bring man
not doing this. It will be that
in fact, the Dutch authorities went further to even send, according to international reports, extradition request to Salone. The Salone government declined, according to the Dutch authorities.
Yeah, but government response to that, according to the Minister of Information, we be here a couple of months ago, I would say, or a month ago. It say there is a process for extradite somebody. And the process, even the Attorney General made it clear, and the process is ongoing. They don't receive the documents, they have to go through the processes. I don't know how long the process is going to take, but whilst the process they go on, will they get a bad name as a country?
Paddy, as I said earlier, Lord not make this a laughing matter. This is a very serious issue. Me, really, we not serious for face this drug crisis. And I'm telling you, probably because it not reach na the home seat. Probably because their family members or relatives have not been addicted to it yet. But surely, if they actually become infested, if this problem reach na the host, in knock na them to mots them, then say begin lost their relatives, their friends, their loved ones to this crisis, just as how the ordinary people, Fatuna, Congo markets, they lost in Pekin. Like how other people that they suffer. Recently, the mayor was speaking about burying over 220 bodies, corpses. Yeah. People away die suspectedly of kush. People are dying in the street like stray dogs. It should not be happening. You remember in Nigeria when this issue of codeine.
Codeine, yeah.
Yes.
Is that syrup?
Yes, that syrup. Yeah. Where that BBC Africa, where that lady exposed that thing there in that documentary, the Nigerian government take action. They take action. Today, codeine is a thing of the past in Nigeria.
Just imagine Nigeria
what do with your government?
Over 200 million people.
What in do with your government? It tells you that this is something that the system they encourage for thrive among the youth. That is what it suggests.
And this takes us to the second part of the conversation. You know, this is something we journalists don't talk about. We all write and comment about that. And threats have started coming in. It starts with we here at Truth Media with Amadou Lamon Abba and other people that don't report certain threats. People are uncomfortable with talking about drug issues. And I don't know what's wrong for any accuser of drug. Like, I'll give the example of Natasha Beckley. The accuser of drug, you go Facebook, explain. We listen to her. At the end of the day, you do the right thing. Go to a police station, lawyer, spend hours, take cautionary statements. You know, we call in lawyer, we try to get a conversation. Lawyer say the conditions are private. For the very first time in life, me know say bail conditions private. I know it's always public, but it said they are private. We're not going to push her for get this. But that's what it should be. If your name is called, you know, why somebody for be agitated? Because, you know, you are named. They can call me, say, Christian, we get suspicious, say you deal in this. Come CID, can't respond. If my hands are clean, we don't need for threats. We don't need to threaten journalists. And it always happens with journalists. Why? You know, they don't do it to doctors. They don't do it to lawyers. They do it to other people. Just journalists then. They just think, say, you know, because people think they have the system in their pockets, they can just get at we and, you know, call journalists out and threaten we. Which is very unfortunate.
Now, Christian, you know for sure that besides talking about the drug crisis, journalists then can get threats every now and then.
Yeah.
Even for simple publication, at times in the morning you send your front page and the people they send the mamikos who they load first now, who they load by you first now, so it will pile up so then things send it.
Definitely.
But the thing is, you mentioned you referenced a parable, a proverb. You say old people are always troubled when dry bones are mentioned. The thing is, as I said in my opinion piece, it's a political strategy. It's a system design tool for keep the youth them at bay so that they're not able to speak up, they're not able to rise up to the challenge of unemployment, of poverty, of a high cost of living and everything. This is a government that promised to create 500,000 jobs in this 5-year term, which means government for create at least 100,000 jobs per year.
Every year.
And I tell you, from 2023 to 2024, 2024 to April 2025, and June 2025, this is 2 years. So by now, at least roughly, we don't get at least 190 to 200,000 jobs. Where are the jobs that have been created? Private sector players, private sector investments, and what have you. We go tout all of these things. We go, then go endorse this, then go say this, then go say this, then go say this. But we are thriving on propaganda. Government does not run on propaganda. Because the reality, they expose you.
Yeah. We get this institution where we get a responsibility for handle this crisis. You know, we own Drug Law Enforcement Agency. You know, this is the institution that is tasked with the responsibility for handling something like this. But you know, they were here, and the very first way you talk about that, they're not getting resources. How would we fight something like this? We had the high, the mighty, the powerful, and then it gets back at you as journalists. They send threats, and you don't have resources. Are we really serious about this fight? Because I would say, posting rehab facility, I would say posting, you know, do enforcement then for drug-related things. And these drug barons have a lot of money. They will not get money. Will not put money into the fight. Man also will not get money. Will not put money into the fight. How do we fight?
Now, by my observation, from last year, April 4th, when President declared national emergency on this crisis, to now, things have not gotten any better. Things have not got any better. Any better at all. So the thing is, President need for sit down back with in task force or in oversight committee or what have you. Let them debrief them. How far have we gone? Or is it that the president just turned blind eye to it? Or the government, let me just say the president, or the government just turned a blind eye to it? What is really happening? we see to me think say the proclamation probably government if you say don't know that they can't put money in that thing and make them go make all big commitments there so rehab treatment center in every district blah 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 blah. But come on, we they spend money per other things the way not they even bring with any better things. How much more shall we be concerned with the lives of the young people when they waste every now and then? You know what's painful? For like the workers, in fact, now the young man and the highest bigger man there. I don't know if you don't observe that.
Yeah, definitely.
You go see a person, there's nothing no do I call, hey brother, how you do? But they go where they call like so I not get transport and so place they call. Not the begging, it don't so civilized now. I they tell you, the intelligent way of begging now. Beggar man they don't work not day. The country don't stronger.
One of the things,
but the reality this.
Yes, one of the things we visible in the fight against this drug, you know, now make we repeatedly talk now because some way somehow it might get to the president. You understand? There seems to be a fundamental mismatch between what the president say, what the president seem for they say, and what's happening on the ground. Maybe because the president's really busy with other things there, he's not been briefed well. So maybe hear from outside say things are not working because the president was out of the country in America. They give some clear picture and inside recognize the fact that it's a tough fight to fight because there are powerful people involved. But they get a picture as if this is what government is doing. But back home, and the structures are not just there.
Christian, powerful people involved. Now, because the police, they're not getting free hand for do the work. I'll tell you something. Let's say, in the realm of politics, one politician make race and blah, 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 something, do something with government or like. Elect it na kubola. Elect kusaya, they go pull and where police ready for, and then they go pull and how much more you tell me say you know go dismantle drug chain? Na lie. The police, in my view,
they know the police.
They get the capacity, they get the wherewithal, they get the intelligence structure, infrastructure, and everything for actually come against this drug crisis.
And you know,
but their hands are tied.
Surprisingly, things can happen very fast in Sierra Leone. You know, I will just give an example, an unrelated example with the judicial case where they go on, you know, and there was a DNA test. It happened so fast, quick. They don't take samples to DNA test. We know when the court case they cow, we follow that case they. If it had been just the average Sierra Leone and begin that kind of case they, we'll get back and forth. Today the victim no can, tomorrow this no can, tomorrow no can.
You got
2-3 months before you even get positive or can't take the sample. Then forget the sample, you'll go back and forth. It will take like 6 months or 1 year. But because the people who are involved are powerful people in the judiciary, quick happen. Just like what you say. So it's possible to get this thing done if we want to get on. If we are really sincere and honest as a nation for curb this mess. Papa,
let government pull and give police free hand. Say anybody, regardless of in relationship or association with the high and mighty, even if the person is high and mighty, you not deal with them. I tell you, inside 1 month or less than 1 month, police overrule all. Salon police wasabi, they wouldn't do a work.
But then the interesting thing again is about collaboration of we institutions in Sierra Leone. You think say other institutions then get the capacity or willingness to collaborate with the police? Why I'm asking this now, a vivid example of this, there are allegations of 16 container Kawasaki and all that, and we see the mismatch in communication. NRA were like very strict with the investigate this. We look at if there's any revenue loss, person will face the full force of the law. Ports and Harbour Authority, they were like, this never happened, they dismiss her outrightly. 2 public institutions, 1 issue, 2 different positions. So maybe the police might have the wherewithal and all that, but can they collaborate with other institutions?
Let me cite another example for you. The issue between Mines Ministry and Finance Ministry regarding mining minerals, where they call realize from minerals, the money we'll get. One they say now almost $1 million, the other one they say no, not so. There is a missing $30 million. If we serious, Mines Ministry now, so Finance Ministry, no, this now when we get our ledger, this we ledger say now this we receive, that they say we then call. Here comes in the parliament. You know, there are times they say, oh, this institution, I tell you, the thing is, now government.
Yeah.
And everything, the buck stop at State House. So, for example, I'll bring another example. When the ACC be take up the case for that race, that Chinese race, for their school picking there.
Yeah. 49,000 bags.
49,000 bags.
Yeah.
ACC don't investigate, blah, 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 blah. Then charge XYZ, former minister, this way they call they indict them. ACC now go pull the case, enter null prosecute. So this case will they continue it again.
Yeah.
What will be the excuse? Say the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice say they need to try the case, judge and jury.
Yeah. Something as
we as ACC say we na judge we want.
Yeah.
Judge alone trial.
Yeah.
Office of Attorney General say na judge and jury. Yeah. Now the office of the Attorney General is the principal advisor, legal advisor to the president. Yeah. The president appoints you we did it. Yeah. The ACC is an institution under the office of the president. Now the president appoints you we did it. What was wrong for president for Korea say you come that this man not get a stumbling block, let them go do judge alone trial.
In as much as the AC, even the AC get part of the High Court, but you know it's the Attorney
so
General of Justice.
The thing is, let them not use flowery words for the bamboozle the electorate. No, na fululu business. No, let me say no na fululu. Anybody who intelligent enough, able for decode the message and understand when actually they go on. No, na fululu business. The people try for fool people and thinking that we are fools. No, we are not fools. At least some of us are not fools.
Definitely. even the one who want to be fools. So some of who they are for, talk to them.
So
they don't understand. That's why we have this discussion. Because if you don't understand, maybe you don't understand some of them things.
It's like you as Papa, you team up so you picking the cost big one, you set your mouth, then the possible the cost they say, hey pa, you see picking the cost me now for cautionable.
They not do nothing.
Then you set him out, say I left that picking and I write for talk.
You say you support her, definitely.
I mean, come on, your tacit approval. You no need for talk for get approval.
Yeah, definitely.
At times, even your omission is an act.
Okay, Lawrence, currently for the tune at the program, it's been an interesting conversation. We want to take a short break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the MRCG, reports, media freedom review, and so the things that we do inside. Just take the short break. It's song done for us by I think Timaya. No pressure.
Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something to cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something will go cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something to cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing to give pressure. Something will go cool my blood pressure. Temper, cool my temper. When I call baby the answer, temper, cool my temper. Oh my God, baby, one faster. Temper, cool my temper. When I call baby the answer, temper, cool my temper. Yeah. My head, though. Me I want cool my head, though. He dey strike for my head like Ronaldo. My head, though. Me I want cool my head, though. You make me want sing for Santo.
Pass me that.
Make me wine slow and burn my lighter. Nobody question my character. If there's no weed, I burn my shisha. Take the next flight down to Atlanta. Tell me now. Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something to cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something will go cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing, give me pressure. Something to cool my blood pressure. Me no want nothing to be pressure. Something will go cool my blood pressure. Temper, cool down my temper. When I call baby the answer, temper, cool down my temper. Oh my God, baby, one faster. Temper, cool down my temper. When I call baby the answer, temper, cool down my temper.
Welcome back, indeed. We know I'm not for good pressure, something to cool my blood pressure. Interesting song done for us by, Timaya. My boss guy can play with famous in the morning. Me decide for play Timaya. Sometimes, after all the talking and all that, they will tell people to just it was step down, and me hashtag for the entire week from now, maybe for the next 2 weeks, my hashtag is going to be why you the vex, person of vex. If you think, say, issues come up, that's the freedom the media should have. We then how we discuss freely, possibly listen, you like, you don't like, if you don't like, you say, okay, I don't like what you want to say. It's a platform, come here, come get a civilized, decent conversation like a democracy. I keep telling people and say, nobody not get monopoly over violence or over course or other things there. Just that some people like we in the media decide for set yourself apart, not because we are not part of this society, but because of things like level of education, because of things like some level of exposure, civilization, of some family who have common religious backgrounds. But not so we self-capable, go down to their levels and day, but we definitely not go down to the level of the day. We'll get a civil conversation, we talk, and maybe people are there for threatening people then, particularly journalists then. We are just doing our jobs. And if we do work, you say you do your work, well, now one aim will get to make Sierra Leone a better place. Lawrence, we'll get a discussion around the reports released by the Media Reform Coordinating Group that they do every month. It's called the Media Freedom Review. And in 2025, it paints a very worrying picture about press freedom generally. And there are some very key examples there, they talk about with chairman and leader. I think there's a follow-up on in case he was invited to the CID by I think it's a mining company. It was Leon Rock. There was a controversy about which he reports. They wanted him to take back the story, and that was clearly intimidation as far as members of the press are concerned. If somebody writes something and you think it's wrong, there's the IMC. People are making the IMC. Let's start with that. All these matters then. You get a couple of other journalists then they go reporting at police and CID call and try for intimidate. We have institutions like the IMC. Why are people trying to make the IMC useless? Because if you don't go to court, so what is the essence of the IMC now? We'll just close the IMC, all man now go to court.
Now, I'm not saying that journalism is 100% perfect in Sierra Leone or journalists are 100% perfect. Every profession, there are bad eggs. But that is not the case when it comes to these issues the way they raise in this report. Me personally don't experience verbal attacks online. One of the things, let's tell you, one of the things I actually stopped attending, going for TV programs, radio programs. Now some of them in there. And because the thing is, nobody know they pay what they can hire.
Exactly.
So you get one set of people there where if you say work in Canada programs, whether here or AYV or elsewhere, they don't go pay we. So as they come also, you go to an area where they call it all man, where they call all man one. Then you have others them where when you appear and you are being critical, they class you anti-government. Yeah. In fact, worse than that, they go say you na APC. I'll give you an example. When we did a Sky Radio, at that time we did do OPUI, People's Parliament Program. We are very critical, very, very critical of the APC administration. And some of the guys, some of my colleagues, they will now all be the do that program. Some of them right now, they're not government. Then where are they talk or are they right? These people are the very ones now who are saying that, oh, mean don't talk APC. They are the very ones when they force could come for can attack me and blast me or what have you. So the thing what I try for say here is that once you are being critical of the government of the day, you are classified as anti-government or opposition. And that's they put you personal life, your family life, and even your business life at a very greater risk. I don't dare na keke, I take keke. As I the side, I meet somebody else inside the keke. And I don't know whether I don't watch him up, but it begin make give some insinuations them. It's not a master. I don't say maybe this na me they talk. So I just take 10 candle. You get me? So we don't see this consistently, and this is not only so. In fact, Salon don't learn from authoritarian regimes now. Whether in Russia, even in the US, how Donald Trump they misbehave, they curse the press, they target the press, and what have you. Now that thing the nine government and in people they practice now against the mainstream media. It's a very serious problem.
Yeah, it is.
We they see and they say, okay, you not go to that crisis stage but now so it starts. We see that one of the things, they will try to discredit you. Even when you are right, you are factual, you are accurate. The very first attack now for discredit.
Make it evidence. It's the oldest joke in the book. You know,
these are what all the authoritarian regimes are doing in other parts of the world.
If I write something and you have,
they're not a challenge the substance of what you write. Then they attack you person. You know, then get the word that they frame them so that it presents you as a liar or parading falsehood or what have you. I remember at some point where I verify do something where the person may say I verify, and the father say it not being correct. A lot of attacks are seen against I verify at that time.
And interestingly, some of these attacks come from within. Colleagues, people even not even no more.
But the thing is, this is Stop Press.
Yes.
One of the things about silent media in uniqueness is that you have the independent media. You get media where government leaning. Yeah. You get media where opposition leaning. Yeah. So, and this happen all over the world.
Yeah. And I don't need for the established. It's not wrong to be opposition or government.
Situation is that because we want to copy best practice. Best practice demands that if you are left wing,
you make it known.
Yes. If you are right wing, you make it known. Yeah. So that the independent, those who are independent, let them know that they are independent.
Definitely.
But here, we might be left wing, XYZ might be right wing, and they present itself as independent. Yeah. Then when independent do something, they are ready for go after that.
Yeah, so definitely this is not in line with the report to MRCG poll. And I just want to get a personal opinion on your own. May I just share my own experience? Okay, we have had that over and over. People in our WhatsApp, they will come, send you message. This is not like you lie, this is a true, or you are opposition, and we get that. And me not can just count. Me, I can tell you they say the only thing where they react to most of the time if it's you are physical. Well, if you're physical, we'll go far. But if you are verbal, I don't worry. Even the report is, I found it surprising that me naming this report, and there was I had an experience. I think I shared it on Facebook. Going to a beach, and I was just there. Somebody called me, say, body in a beach. If person died in a beach, it's a news story. I go to the police, me asking, I news this. What you can do now? What you know? Say, I'm doing my job. Person died under suspicious circumstances. It's a news story. I go there. I don't even snap. I pull my phone, so police they all rush. Even though I had an eye catch, I said, me a journalist. No respect for members of the press, and that was a very important story because where I do some background based on conversation with other police officers, they get to the call dry drowning. This person down on the beach, water in lungs and all that. That shows say there is some suspicion. It might not have died of drowning. They might not kill her. They can't deposit the body. So these are the things we follow, and people don't like. Personally, also you don't get them, they experience them. How has it affected your work as a journalist? How it don't limit you in doing your work?
Okay, so personally, I just give you tell you say one of the reasons we make another shop now, and I dey get many invites for TV, radio programs, but I just they give excuses and what have you. Because when you shop, the risk is too high, and in fact, one station there, I think at Epic, I tell them say, una need for retain me services if I actually for the candy, una need for they pay me some 2 a month though. Yeah, because one. The risk, oh man, the thing is so huge, even to the business. Because mind you, I'm also a publisher. Yeah. I get me newspaper how they run.
They need you adverts because they say
I don't publish. They don't give me advert. I publish a story where the institution will give me the advert. Feel say I'm not for writing kind of story than this, so they refuse to pay. I can tell you. Institution they will not pay me. I they calling them because I did not judiciary they will they owe me, they not agree pay me. Statistics say I don't they owe me, they not agree pay me. And so many others. I named these two for obvious reasons. And I want let them come and can't challenge them.
You know, statistics read and they a lot about them.
For obvious reasons, they refuse to pay me. So that things they are, then are the business aspect alone. You they go institutions for get adverts, you they go where have you. Just because you are that person, this is your stance or this is your position, or you are being so bluntly critical or over critical, if not so, then can call them or what have you, you will not be encouraged. Of course, the risk to your personal safety alone. That is why I can tell a few of my colleagues say, now you get for no side you go when you go. Yeah. Me and Dixie, they talk the other day where they tell me, say, be they use for the go jog early morning, sit down one and ask him, man, I be big risk one day. Yeah, for let you go sit down the jog na street for put your body down. I mean, to this was a privilege, a woman to sit down the talk. I say, me be me na, I not get mind one. I not crazy. You get me? Eh? Because you don't know this crazy man, they can't bank you, bear you back.
Exactly.
God forbid.
Namek, even when these whole threats come in-house, we had these threats to my colleague Lamon Abba. One of the things they will push out was like, go report na police. It was like, you want to take a easy.
But you don't say not on the first time this Lamon has been.
I know, it's several times. And why
remember during the election?
Yeah. Why we insist say for report na police is because there are people, okay, the person who made the threat might not follow through. You get people that just crazy no more.
Yeah, you followers them.
Yeah.
You get people that let come whatever.
It might be like it take her easy no more. Post it off because like we post it off we will want this down
because you are entitled to self-defense.
Definitely.
But I'm telling you, if it got to that level, let it not happen. But if it got to that level, they will frame it against you. The system will use it against you. I tell you, I can tell some man, I say, if governments really want to take you down, this happens all over the world. If government wants you down, surely you will go down. It takes the grace of God for make you stand. Yeah. If government wants you down, you go down. So man will get for be really be careful.
This is the issue.
Look, Dixie issue, for example. Yeah. This is an issue that was brought before the NACIT court. You report exactly what transpired in the court. They went to the IMC, they saw that their complaint had no merit. They now decided for go now na police for go intimidate you or what have you.
In fact, they even, let's be clear about that thing there with Leon Rock. You know, they even offer some compromise, tell the man, say, okay, why you withdraw this, why you sign some documents, we'll discuss the issue again. And Dixie was like, no, how go outside discuss this issue? I know my matter has merit. I need to talk to and he right. So if una can go withdraw the case, but I'm not going to.
Years ago, I encountered that similar problem, but me not be escalate how Dixie Young goes to na police. An institution was brought before the NACIT court. Then be owe about 50 million. They're not the call and already they call, they're not the car. So the NACIT lawyer at the time applied for bench warrants for let them bring the man, the institutional head, na court. And we wrote that story. The institution got offended. In fact, first, na immediate handlers and they send force for right. So now one of the media handlers coming now, He wants to get me own side of the story. Now say which side of which story? In that story,
Story
where
don't
I
publish.
write or what?
See
I
you
mean. Now say you want to get me own side of the story. I say
Story don't
okay.
publish.
I say you read the content of my story. Now exactly when it happen at the court now right now. So I say go and write because I'm a very big media. I say go and write. I say I'm a very good writer myself. I say I'm ready for deal with you. I'm ready for this press war. The next moment, they've now filed the complaint to the IMC. They're not ever mass.
Yeah, they will go to complain.
They will go to because that time even me don't get the court paper, everything was there.
Okay.
They're not ever mass. So there are times they want for use institutions for mostly, but the IMC, to a very large extent, I can commend the IMC. Yes, there are journalists who go there, there are complaints where they take away IMC, they investigate fully and see say the journalist add in his reporting and they also request instruct the journalist for his tract. To some extent, they can even fine. Yeah, this it happen. But many of the complaints there, not frivolous, malicious complaints there. Just because you are offended by the publication or the article or the report of that person or that journalist or that media institution, you feel say you can use the whatever means you have for cow the person into submission.
So I want to know, maybe let's speak to colleagues who are on this same platform with we, who report the truth, who are very critical. Of course, Freetown Post, they write very good stories. So if you follow Truth Media, and on Mondays, see, okay, on Mondays now they publish your own newspaper. During the week, Lawrence always they publishing paper at certain point in time during the week. Go there, go to newsstands and buy Freetown Post, and definitely you are short of very good stories. Just equally to which they do is one person who is very meticulous and thorough in his stories. My question would be, as media practitioners in this space, with this ongoing kush war, and people who are dealers, people who think, they're not for calling them there, they are fighting back, and with apart from even the drug war and threats, intimidation against the media, what do we do? How we for dinner this space, and do we work still but try for protect ourselves? Because we are going to be here for a long. Now this we left for do, so that's why we're here. I always tell people, they say we get alternative for do other things there. Okay? But other things that we are educated, we get wherewithal for do other things. But this is what we want to do. How do we do this still? Protect we own lives and safety in the process.
First off, to the public, when public in the actually bash at journalists the way they do the right thing, just because it offend the personal ego or them party, puts them party or them government in one kind way they not like. Where they not in a power, if they're not in a power today, they go want this same journalist for continue for all the while within a power accountable.
Yeah.
If you they treat journalists this way, you they attack the press this way, how much more you think say you fellow politicians them or the opposition not go learn from you and begin for do same there way the journalists not go doing in work now. You say them they do this now they know they this. Now so what? Let me just bring this. One woman attack me. Now APC woman. Circular Road. And he said, Trade, you be there going to TV now, they see you again. But they wait you one party go kind of power. Let you go sit on that TV. I go cost you people left. That's why they tell God they light. And you pass
like say game will pull over cost.
I watch you man. Me have to just calm down.
Yeah.
I left her because if I for me say anything sometimes for me get man come on say can slap me and in a woman just know I get right. You sabi now? Yeah. The gender laws man not get right.
It's better. Sometimes you just take it easy and just
So we are really coming under. We are really under very serious covert attack from government officials, government people, party people, and the public.
Definitely.
So we have to be very careful. I can tell man and say, So at times you make an appearance, sometimes lost force na TV, lost force na radio. Let them not see you, let them not hear your voice. You paper, they would have hear when they say, let go read the newspaper or let go na your website. That's what I can tell people. I say my website, they go on my website, freetonpost.com, you go read. Go buy the paper.
I can tell people they say, there was a time I used to write a lot on Facebook, write different things and all that. I tell people now, 1 minute with PRO.
I stopped using my personal Facebook page for the raise some other issues and then what happened.
I can tell people Andy. If you want to see what they say, come to traditional media also, and
go read that on the website. Can listen. So this is what I always tell colleagues. Yeah. You get me?
As we wrap up, my final question will be: what gives you hope? All these threats, this censorship. We have incidents where you report things where the powerful are very uncomfortable. What is the fear this you resolve? Say, we're still going to do this.
One of the things which only keep some of us in this profession are passion. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if we were really hold this profession in high esteem, if we all back out to go find out that thing do, the society they collapse. If journalism not there for all government accountable, society they collapse. Democracy they collapse. So now because we are here, that is why democracy is functional.
And I can tell people, they say it's not difficult having a government job. Today, some people have a government job to get. It's not difficult for the belief of the government. We don't have to forget to government. It's the easiest thing to get in this country. Political work where you sit down, you set you want not talk nothing. It's very, very simple to get. It's not a tough thing. Everybody think say it's so difficult to get. Some of us just decide, I want it for now.
It don't. Yeah. Because there have been some offers, but they look. I mean, come on. So for me, seriously, one, the passion. Two, you at times I feel. At times I can't go. Even my master said, can send where they call, apply for this or where they call. If not for where they call, at least we get 1-2 good people away, they run NGO or whatever, we will go talk to them, we will give we work. If I left, if I go by myself in a band, I will get work. Me, I will get work any side. But at times, we just feel trapped no more. We feel chained in this profession because we want to keep them alive. Yeah, the passion. If they do something where you like, you enjoy and all that stuff. You get me? Eh? It's not just about, say, bash government. No, it's not about bashing government. Because government, they do fine things with the talker. Yeah. I remember I write one story recently where one of my strange bedfellows who don't attack me. He say perfect. He commend me now. I say, okay, this government let come. Yeah, this government let come. I'm making it. It happens
all the time. You write good story.
I want a story about Sierra Leone. We this AI thing who they try for do forget integrate AI into the public service. And he said perfect.
We do it. We do it all the time.
But if I write something, just no way, no like.
Me don't write several stories on newspapers. Government means I don't take an opportunity status. We don't know if it's me, and it's because it's good. If it's good, it's good. Sometimes we have to.
But if it's nice, it's nice.
Yeah,
that is the thing.
That's the balance we need to create. This is good. This is bad. We talk as it is. It can't always be good. It can't always be bad.
Somebody said politicians deserve to be changed for the same reason as diapers. If it's nice, it's nice.
Definitely.
If it's good, it's good.
It's good, definitely. Thank you very much. On this note, we want to wrap it up here. It's been an interesting conversation with Lawrence Williams, as always. And when I put out the flyer and I say you will come on the show, somebody was asking why Lawrence. Somebody asked, somebody give guest suggestions. I say, well, Lawrence has a calm head. He don't have to address issues, and some issues then they will go for the address here on Stop Press. Not to ala get her. Not about the faith. So can begin. No, what people they expect you for do? Bring somebody now, where the APC, be somewhere, SLPP, they can argue. At the end of the day, nobody benefits, nobody learns anything. No, that's what they do. We bring people who speak to the issues. Sometimes we will forget the debates today, but let's understand each other. Maybe they learn.
Christian,
and conversation.
Besides bringing journalists, one of the reasons we make experts then they shy away from the media. Now because of the backlash now they work where they go get.
And we get that all the time.
And say that and they certainly will get they look for contracts in our government or what have you.
Yeah.
And I take this guy.
Story, I don't find engineer I'd say he will say, well, wait first.
Because just now you talk when they call like, so now you go talk and we'll cancel you because look at this. One of the guy who I get so much respect for. Now this professor where they been terminating contracts na FBC. that history political professor.
Abdullah, is it?
No.
Injai?
No. It can comment a lot on issues on Facebook.
Yes.
He appeared on AYV and made a very fair, accurate statement that the revolution for multi-party democracy started with the student protest way back in 77.
It's really.
It's right in days of water. And this politician was saying, no, the return to democracy, blah, blah, blah. It started with President Julius Maada Bio when the Hanover power overthrew Hanover power in 1990. And the professor said, no. History tells us. The thing is,
and
history can be forgotten, but it cannot be entirely erased.
all the time.
It cannot be
we
erased.
had a lecturer now teaching political science. Charles Silva was here, and we had a
He's also one of the very best.
best. But you notice it don't left for the good and media very often.
Because he has a job.
Not because he get a job. He was at APRM. The man was sacked because he's very
sacked because I don't say me.
APRM. So he was here. He even complained that I think he had asked questions. He had applied for a diplomatic passport. No, this is a doctor. They try with him company. They all pass again for waiting a line for us. He go through the rigorous process. He company for wait for and all that. So these are the challenges. But
so don't respect intellectuals. And I make this is why the press really at times would they starve for get experts' views, experts' opinions on issues. Because then they can't talk. As they can't talk, so they go lost their job or that contract will again then go lost what have you.
Definitely.
The backlash, the society is just so polluted.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. This conversation, we'll keep this conversation alive and definitely in subsequent editions of the program. But we'll wrap up the program here. This is how Stop Press, they left you for today. My name has been Christian Conte. Thank you so much, Lawrence Williams, for your time, for not passion no more to make, Lawrence left in paper and editing and come here on a day like this, when I edit for day, the editing paper and do other mamikoka and things around. Come here for discuss issues of national concern. People will not get no interest, just that we want to seek the betterment of Salone. But make people left for attack journalists then for just speaking up. If all man don't set much, all man they label to government, all man and they sing to the opposition. This country not go before. The only way we'll get a very serious country where water challenge will be solved, electricity challenge will be solved, other amenities they will get, and I will get people very vibrant, people very active, people very talking the way for talking at the media. And this is one of the reasons why Truth Media has been formed. So they call you name per something. No vex. Why you for vex? No vex. Come on, can get a conversation. Let's talk about it and let's move forward as one united people in this country. Thank you so much to the technical team, Simon, Ansu. Thank you very much to DJ Muski, for being behind the mixer, and all my colleagues them in the news team, and of course to my boss, will give you the free hand for get this conversation freely. No if or but, no rules, no day on waiting for talk and waiting for talk. Just freely, respectfully get a conversation until Friday when I come with another edition of Stop Press. Keep listening to Truth Radio 103.9 FM. Follow us on all the social media platforms and, let the conversation continue, Thank you so much for being with us. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day. This is Stop Press.
I hope that our visitors would listen to this song carefully, because it's true. They're trying their best to stop our progress with bad propaganda. I mean the foreign press. Bad things are blown out of proportion and spread all around. But the good things of the island they will never mention. Like our scholars have sit and passed every test. There's nothing about that in the foreign press. You know our music.